Thank you and welcome Academic Magnet High School. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Hunter. And good morning, Academic Magnet High School graduates and guests. I am Jacob Perlmutter, and it is my honor to welcome you to our 2022 commencement program this morning. And to do that this morning, I would like to tell a story. It's a paradox, actually. It's called the Ship of Theseus. And I heard about the Ship of Theseus when I was in undergraduate school. Those of you who are roughly my age will recall that in the early to mid-1990s, Judge Alex Sanders was the president of the College of Charleston when I was a freshman at the College of Charleston, having just graduated from Academic Magnet. Judge Sanders, for some reason that's beyond me, had to teach a class that year, so they made up a course code for him, and he taught a pre-law class. I suppose when you're the president of the university, you can do such things. The end result was that I was a late-breaking requirement from the Honors College at the College of Charleston that we took an introductory law class with Judge Sanders. And he started out with reviewing torts, claims, and contracts, and other legal doctrine, but I think that one day he just looked up and saw that no one in that class had any real interest in law, and so he just pushed all that to the side. The syllabus, the whole thing, gone, tests, assignments, gone, and our class just became story time with Judge Sanders for the rest of the semester. It was one of the most memorable courses I have ever taken. And Judge Sanders, some of you recall, spoke very slowly with a delightful southern drawl. So every story of his could easily take a whole class period. One of the things he told us about was the Ship of Theseus. It's a thought experiment, a paradox, again, Ship of Theseus. It's ancient, I think it's from the 1st century, and it's Greek, and here it is. There's this guy, his name is Theseus, and he has a ship, and he's going traveling to war. And so he leaves his ship to someone in Athens with the instructions that they may use the ship, but to please replace the parts of the ship as they break or fail. So Theseus's trip is extended. The Greek wars often were, and years go by, and during the course of those years, the Athenian to whom he left the ship replaces every piece of the ship. So the sails tear, he replaces them. The ropes break, he replaces them. The bow replaces stern, floors, gunnels, rails, whole boat, mast, on and on. So that 10 years later, when Theseus returns, there isn't a single part of the original ship that's remaining. So Theseus does eventually come back and says to the Athenian, "Thank you so much for taking care of my ship while I was away. I have come to reclaim my ship." So the Athenian thinks for a second and says, "Wait a minute, right?" And you think what the Athenian might be thinking? Like, maybe this is my ship, right? It turns out the Ship of Theseus isn't so much a legal precept, but a philosophical one. And great thinkers from Plutarch to Hobbes and Locke have offered their opinions on the matter as well. The Theseus' paradox is a thought experiment that raises the question of whether an object which has all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. It asks whether a ship that has been restored by placing every single part remains the same ship. The consensus thinking over centuries, from the Greeks to Hobbes and Locke, is that the essence of a thing, what Aristotle would have called the purpose of a thing, or the what it is of a thing, supersedes just the physical composition of that thing. So that the thing is more than just its material parts. Its essence exists even if the material parts all change. They cite philosophers, cite an example of when you go and stand in a river, okay, you wade into a river and you feel the water rush over your legs. You go to that river the next day and it's the same river, but it's completely different water, right? So the river remains the same day to day, even if the water that constitutes that river completely changes every day. So why on earth am I up here this morning talking about the ship of Theseus? What if the paradox was a school of Theseus? What if Theseus didn't leave a ship to the Athenian to watch over, but left him a school with the same instruction? Use it in good health, take care of it, and replace parts or components as they fail or wear out. I'm standing here today at the graduation ceremony of Academic Magnet High School, where I graduated from almost 30 years ago. Very little is the same as it was 30 years ago. Very few parts of that ship remain. The desks are different, the textbooks are changed, the computers, we actually didn't even have computers. Our senior year, we got one computer lab, which we went to go to play Oregon Trail. And we used a program called Logo Writer. The people are different, right? The faculty and staff, all different. The physical campus is different. So the floors are different, the walls are different, the mascot's different, the school colors are different. Everything has slowly been replaced, has been upgraded, replaced. Every material thing at the Academic Magnet High School has changed. So is it even the same school at all? I bring this up to say that the philosophers say yes, it is. They say that remember that the essence of a thing supersedes the sum of the physical components of that thing. The purpose of the academic magnet, the essence of the academic magnet, has not changed and will not change. So graduates, when you come back here 30 years from now, after you go and live a full and productive 30 years and you come back, I won't be here. Some of these faculty and staff won't be here. Dr. Hay might be here. Most of the components will change. But the building may be different, and the chairs and the books will be different. The computers will certainly be different. I can't even fathom what computers will be like 30 years from now. But the essence of the Academic Magnet High School will remain. The spirit of this place that only very few people know, and even fewer, including myself, are able to articulate, will be here for you. I say that only a select few people know and fully understand the essence of our school because it's very difficult to define, and it might be impossible to fully define. You, class of 2022, know what the essence of the Academic Magnet High School is. You know what it means to be a Raptor, to be a member of an elite cohort of seriously smart students, students who believe in scholarship, and students who believe in honor. Graduates, today is about you and your remarkable accomplishment. It's about your graduation from this unique and prestigious school. And just as the school will forever be a part of who you are, you will also be a part of what this school is. Because it turns out that you are the essence of the school. Its graduates are, its students are. You are the purpose of the school, and you are what Aristotle would have called the what it is of Academic Magnet High School. Congratulations on this accomplishment this morning, class of 2022. Round of applause for you. At this time, I would like to welcome Kate Waldorf to the lectern to introduce our keynote speaker for the morning.
Hello, academic magnet community. I'm Kate Waldorf, the president of the senior class. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our graduation speaker, Mr. Chris Singleton. Mr. Singleton was born and raised in Charleston and attended Goose Creek High School and later Charleston Southern University before being drafted to play baseball by the Chicago Cubs. While the news of the 2015 Mother Emanuel tragedy was brutal for all of us, few suffered as much as Mr. Singleton, who lost his mother. Showing maturity and grace well beyond his 19 years, Mr. Singleton inspired the nation by choosing forgiveness rather than anger. He famously stated that love is stronger than hate. Mr. Singleton has become a nationally renowned speaker with the message of resilience, forgiveness, and unity. He is the best-selling author of Different, a story about loving your neighbor, and author of several other children's books. Please join me in giving Mr. Singleton a warm welcome.
This is an honor to be here. Over the last 6 years or so, I think I've done probably 15 commencement speeches, and I always know the shorter, the better. So I won't be very long, but the first thing that I'll mention, my mentor, as I started speaking about 6 years ago, now I'm on the road about 150 days a year, and he said, Chris, the worst thing a person can be in your shoes is a public success and a private failure. He said that's the worst thing a person can be. And so for me, I was in Chicago yesterday and got home about 10:30 last night, and I've got my wife who's away on vacation in Switzerland. I got 2 little boys at home. I woke up this morning trying not to mess anything up. But then I worked my way here, and I said I want to pour out my heart because I live literally 15 minutes away. 15 minutes away, and for me to be able to share in Chicago or to Microsoft or to different MLB or NBA teams and not share in my own hometown, that's a public success and private failure. And so like Kate mentioned, I went through some pretty tough times. And, one of the things that I've realized at a young age is it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond to it. I've realized that in life, things are going to happen, and I call it my 10%, things I couldn't control even if I wanted to. And what shifted my mind is this quote by a guy named Charles Swindoll. He said in life is based on 2 things, it's action and reaction. Just 2 things, action and reaction. The action is 10%. The 90% is how you respond, that's the reaction. And so I'm asking you guys whether your 10% has always been sunshine and rainbows, or it's been really, really good, or maybe your 10% has been pretty rough like me. It's just 10. You've got 90% to work with. And as I was putting my thoughts together about what I was going to share, how I was going to say it, I thought the biggest piece of advice that I would give you all is about resilience. It's about being resilient. Things in life won't always go as they're planned, but if you're able to bounce back and keep pushing forward, you'll attain those goals, those dreams, those aspirations that you all have. And for me, I call it the unthinkable adversity, the stuff I see on TV, and we saw it in Buffalo, where I was at last week speaking to some students. We saw it in Texas. And so there's so many unspeakable, unthinkable things that are happening. And for me, it happened to my mom, my biggest fan. I always say my mom was like the embarrassing Facebook post mom, right? If I had a good game, she was going to be on Facebook. Did y'all see my baby last night? And maybe some of you all have parents like that. Maybe you don't, but that's how my mom was. And so when I lost her and I lost my father, I found myself at 20 years old taking care of 2 teenagers. I didn't know what I was doing, so I started to just study people that are resilient. I tried to be a father figure to my brother and my sister, and I would say, hey, make sure you're doing what mom's supposed to do, A's and B's, no C's, and they would just look at me and they would say, shut up. And so I figured out really quickly, okay, I got to do something different. And so I started to just study the most resilient people that walk this earth. And some of the things that I would see, I just love quotes. I realize we won't live forever. We won't, but if our words are powerful, they'll stay behind. And one of the quotes that I didn't really like, it says, sometimes in life you got to play the hand that you're dealt. Raise your hand, graduates, if you heard that before. Play the hand that you're dealt, right? I saw that, and I said, man, that is a great saying or a great quote if you got a good hand, man. If you got a good hand, that is a great saying. Play the hand that you're dealt because you got a royal flush. I get it. No, it makes sense. But for me, I didn't have a very great hand, and so I got aggravated when I saw that. Then I would see stuff like, what doesn't kill you in life makes you stronger. And I said, man, you know what? I lost my parents. I'm here. I don't feel very strong, but I've gone through a ton. And then my buddy, one of my best friends, sat me down and he gave me this story about resilience, and it stuck with me forever. Now I'm an athlete, and I always say I'm not retired. I just got cut, okay? So some people try to look me up and look up my stats. I wasn't good enough, okay? That's all it was. But I absolutely love sports. I love sports. And so me and my best friend, and we're sitting down and we're watching TV and ESPN, and golf comes on. And at the time, I'd never played golf before. But I knew about it, and I didn't know a whole lot about the history. But my buddy stops me and tells me this story. I've never forgotten it. He said, Chris, I'm going to tell you about the history of a golf ball, he said. The history of a golf ball. He said when they first made the golf ball, it was made out of molasses. It was about this size. It was smooth all the way around. They called it a feathery. It was so lightweight. He said, Chris, if you would just hit the ball, if the wind was blowing at all, it would just immediately take it that way. And I looked at him and I said, man, I'm not the best at golf, but doesn't that still happen? Like, I don't know where you're going with this. And he said, hold on, Chris, you're going to love it, man. Just hold on, you're going to love it. He said what we did was we put some more substance behind this golf ball, made it out of a different material. It was heavier in weight, but guess what? It was still smooth all the way around. He said now when we hit it, it went a little bit further because of the weight, but still because it was smooth all the way around. If the wind was blowing, it just took it that way. He said it wasn't until we had a golf ball that had rubber bands around it that was scratched, it was punctured, it was bruised. It had gone through some things. He said we experimented with this when for the first time we hit it and it was able to cut through the wind. And my buddy, at a time of my life when I needed it the most, he told me, Chris, you're like that golf ball. He said, you've gone through things nobody should have to go through. You've experienced things nobody should experience, especially a teenager. But he said, Chris, I think those things make you stronger. And as a young man, at 25 years young, married to my high school sweetheart with 2 little guys, doing what I absolutely love to do in this world, he was right. Now when something happens to me, I say it happens for me. It's another scratch, another dent in my golf ball. Now this is annoying sometimes to my wife when something happens and I say, baby, that's just another scratch. And she wants to give me a scratch when I say it, right? But that's the mindset that I have that has gotten me through so much in my young age. So I want you all to be resilient and to be golf balls. When something happens, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And you realize it's going to help you cut through the future adversity in your life. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't share my mission with you all. Because I look at you and I think you are leaders. You're leaders today, but also tomorrow and in the future, you guys will change this world. And so one of the things that I think I'll need your help with is this mission of unity. And when they reached out, they said, Chris, I'd love for you to share about being perseverant, about being resilient, but also about your mission of unity. And this mission, I just want to tell you guys, for me, the mission isn't that we have to change who we are. Right? We don't have to change who we are to be united. We can celebrate other people while still loving who we are and what we believe in. But I can't do it by myself. I need you guys to help me teach. I think it all comes down to teaching your friends, your family, your coworkers, your employees one day to love. And remember that we didn't choose our skin color, didn't choose our first language, didn't choose where we were born, who we were born to. So we should never hate people for those things, and they should never hate you for them just as well. We have to teach it. And I'll give one story about how important teaching is. I was playing professional baseball. Now, I played in the minor leagues, which is a lot different than the major leagues. You know, we have the River Dogs down here, okay? It's a lot different than playing for the Rays. The biggest difference is the money, okay? That's the biggest difference. Right, so when you're playing in the minor leagues, I was grinding away, got drafted by the Cubs, and I was making about $1,200 a month before tax. And looking back on it, you know, I made that for about 7 months out of the year. And when I was in high school working at Chuck E. Cheese, if I made $1,200, I thought I was loaded. But I realized as an adult, that's nothing. And so I was, playing baseball, and my agent calls me. He knew at the time I had my brother and my sister at home. I'm taking care of them. Just got married. I got my little man, CJ, on the way. And I remember for me, this was the moment in my life where I realized how important our stories are. This lady, I was actually playing baseball, and my agent calls me. He says, Chris, I got a place for you to stay. It's going to be free. I know you've gone through so much, man. You're struggling financially. Like, let's make sure you're taken care of. I said, awesome. Where am I staying at? He said, cool. You're staying at St. Paul's Retirement Community. I said, man, no, I'm not staying no St. Paul's Retirement Community. He said, yeah, the average age about 74, 75, man, but it's free. They got free breakfast, free lunch, free dinner. When you guys get to college, you'll realize how important free is. And so when he said it was free, I said, sign me up. Guys, I got there. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life. When I walked in, they had a big poster, a fat head of me. It said, welcome, Chris Singleton. We love you, grandson. I said, what? You love me? And they really did love me. And they were asking me a million questions. And you graduates know what I mean when I say a million questions. And maybe your mom, your dad is here, your grandpa, grandma. And this is how you know somebody's old, okay? I don't want to offend any of our wise people back there. But you guys are going to get this today, right? They'll ask you 5 questions in a row without you getting to answer one of them. Right? Today you'll get that. Well, what are you majoring in? What's your girlfriend? You guys staying together? You'll get them back to back to back. And they were asking me these. And I stopped and I said, let me ask you guys some stuff. You've been through life. You've learned a lot. Can you teach me? And there's one interview I want to share about love. This lady's name was Esther. She was 85 years young. She was a white lady. She was real short and had like all white hair. And she said, Chris, don't call me Esther. You can call me Grandma E. And so I did, and me and Grandma E were talking back and forth. And she stops me in the middle of the interview. And she says to me, Chris, let me show you my great-grandbabies. And y'all, I'm so silly. I thought because she was old, she'd pull out like a little Polaroid picture and start flapping it or something. But she had the brand new iPhone. She showed me. And it was a picture of 2 little girls. And she said to me, Chris, these are my great-grandbabies and they're twins. And I looked at the picture and I said, ain't no way they twins, Grandma E. Because one was white and one was black. And I mean like dark-skinned black like me, right? Not Patrick Mahomes black, right? And so I asked her, I said, Grandma E, how are they twins? And so she shared it with me. She said her grandson was supposed to have twins, and one little girl passed away at birth. They adopted this black baby girl, raised them up. 8 years old now, they're twins. I said, oh, man, that's pretty cool. That's amazing, Grandma E. But I started thinking about that show called This Is Us, and I started thinking, man, was she watching too much TV, y'all? But anyway, we kept going in the interview, and she stops me again. This is where it gets really good for you all. She stops me again. She says, Chris, let me tell you what they call themselves. I said, Grandma E, what did they call themselves? She said, chocolate and vanilla ice cream. I said, oh, that's cute. I get it. Black, white, chocolate, vanilla. That's cute. I said, but Grandma E, that's a little weird now. They're not licking themselves, are they? She said, no, Chris, they're not licking themselves. I said, well, what is it? Why do they call themselves chocolate and vanilla ice cream? Class of 2022, you want to know what she said? She said, Chris, I taught them that. I said, well, Grandma E, why would you teach them to call themselves chocolate and vanilla ice cream? She said, Chris, I taught them that because I want them to know, although they're different on the outside, on the inside where it counts, they're just as sweet. And immediately, guys, I started thinking, I wish my mother's killer would have had a grandma just like Grandma E. Wish my mother's killer would have had a friend or somebody he graduated with and kept in touch with that could teach him like Grandma E. You see, my ask of you isn't to change the world, but I do want you to love people and teach like Grandma E, no matter what somebody's first language is or where they're from or what they look like. We're going to celebrate them. Butter pecan, strawberry, double dark chocolate. We'll celebrate people. That is my ask of you all. Now, there's one more thing that I want to share because I did promise I'd be short and sweet. And I remember growing up as a young man, I would always hear, it takes a village to raise a child. Class of 2022, have you ever heard that? Raise your hand if you heard that before. It takes a village to raise a child. And I would hear this so much. It takes a village to raise a child. And what it means is it's not just your parents. It's also maybe your grandparents, your uncles, your aunties, your teachers, your principal. Like everybody's pouring into you to raise you up. And what I realize now as a young man is that I'm a direct representation of my village. And so when people see me, they aren't just seeing Chris Singleton. They're seeing my mom. They're seeing my dad. They're seeing my grandparents, the school that I went to. They're seeing all these different things. And so my challenge to you is to think about this when you're on your own. When mom isn't there, when dad isn't there, when you're not at the house anymore. Remember that you are a direct representation of your village. The way that you represent yourself, the way that you carry yourself, I want people to say, man, those 2022 grads from Academic Magnet High School, they represent their village very, very well. Congratulations. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Singleton. At this time, I have the pleasure of recognizing some outstanding students for several different awards. The first one is the Palmetto Fellows Scholarship, a merit-based program established to recognize the most academically talented high school seniors and encourage these students to attend college in the state. To be deemed eligible to receive this scholarship, students must earn a 1400 on the SAT or a 32 on the ACT. Earn a 4.0 cumulative GPA by the end of their senior year. Would the recipients of this award please stand? Thank you. You may be seated. The second one is the CCSD Board Scholar Certificate. This certificate is awarded to graduating seniors based on GPA calculated at the end of the third 9 weeks grading period. A student must achieve a 4-year GPA of 4.25 or better on the South Carolina Uniform Grading Scale with no rounding up or down. Would the recipients of this award please stand? Thank you. You may be seated. Finally, we have the South Carolina Academic Honors Award. For a student to receive an Academic Achievement Honors Award, this student must, 1, complete 24 units of credit as prescribed, 2, receive a minimum grade of B for each semester course in grades 9 through 12 through the 7th semester, and 3rd, achieve either a score of 710 on the SAT Verbal or a score of 690 on the SAT Math, or an SAT score of 30 on English or 33 on Mathematics, or each student shall have completed 24 units of high school credit, be eligible for graduation with a state high school diploma, have a combined score of 1400 on the SAT Verbal and Math sections, or an ACT composite score of 31. Would the recipients of this award please stand? That should be everybody. 166 recipients, the entire class of 2022. Congratulations. You may be seated.
This is a happy speech, by the way. So, roughly 13 billion years ago, our universe began in a massive rapid explosion. Over billions of years, planets, galaxies, and our own solar system formed, and life itself formed. The first Homo sapiens appeared a mere 300,000 years ago, and around 10,000 years ago, the first human civilization developed. In the last 10,000 years, humanity has developed at an insanely fast pace compared to every other animal that we are aware of. And with our massive technological and cultural innovations throughout the Anthropocene that made our lives much more comfortable and free, we also learned dark truths about our existence. One of which is the fact that there is a strong scientific consensus that billions of years from now, our universe will come to an end. Ultimately, we became aware that not only will our own lives end, but every influence that we have on the world around us will ultimately have no effect on the inevitable conclusion of the universe. Not only will our own existence end, but one day the last person who remembers each and every one of us will take their last breath, and the last influence we have on the world around us will cease to exist. A quick reminder, though, that this is a happy speech because these are facts about our universe which are left up to our interpretation. And there's not much that we can know precisely for certain. But one thing that we do know, I think pretty well, is that we all experience happiness and sadness. So I think we should all live our lives geared towards our own happiness and well-being. So here are a few tips. 1, floss. 2, spend time with people who love you. 3, stand with good posture. Stand upwards with your shoulders back. 4, pursue fun hobbies. 5, clean your room once in a while. 6, stay hydrated. 7, be yourself, in the words of Miss Yaki. And 8, make sure that at least 80% of the food that you eat is healthy. And 9, do your best to accept hard truths. Failure is inevitable. Don't expect anyone who left you to come back. The college you got rejected from isn't going to send you a message that they made a mistake. You will make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make our mistakes, but do your best to right your wrongs. But remember that you can't change the past. And there will be entire weeks or months or years of your life where you will be alone, and nothing will make sense, and everything will feel gloomy, and we will never erase this sadness because man is fundamentally alone. And we will never erase this sadness because man is fundamentally alone, and we are all going to die. But embrace darkness. Embrace darkness. Wait, in the words of Carl Jung, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures in light, but by making the darkness conscious. But like I said, though, this is a happy speech. So number 10, remember that you are a miracle. You are a phenomenon of the universe in which, for a brief period of times, a small cluster of atoms is currently awake and aware that it is conscious, aware that it is made up of a cluster of atoms. And that is insane. That's amazing. Nobody can take away that fact that you are a miracle. And even when you're gone, you will still have been an insanely amazing phenomenon in the history of our universe. Just like a star or a supernova, you are a beautiful part of our universe. And treat yourself as such and treat everyone as such. Treat everyone as a miracle of the universe. So, we need to positively influence the people around us too. So, even if you want to be a purely self-serving person, you have to admit that we would all be happier in a loving community full of where our needs are met rather than a world of hatred and starvation. What a tragedy it would be to waste the one life that we have and also waste everybody else's life with us. Maybe everything will ultimately be meaningless, but that doesn't change the fact that we can find satisfaction in loving one another. So I could tell you the standard things: give to charity, support your family, and other advice that we all know. It's been repeated thousands of times, but I think one of the best ways we can increase everybody's well-being is our own pursuit of greatness. Every single one of us can do remarkable things. Imagine if the great people of humanity submitted to our struggles and said, I give up. A world with no innovators to invent air conditioning, to create medicine, to teach us to wash our hands, to invent the wheel and reinvent it, to create massive ideological revolutions, and to support the rights of oppressed groups worldwide. We would all be worse off. A quote that resonates with me is from a book called The Fifth Science, and it goes as follows. Society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they'll never sit in. Society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they'll never sit in. Even if the tree will one day die, we can find comfort in knowing that it will shade a person that we love for the period of its existence. A simple way to become an influential person like this is to find something you know you truly love, a passion that encapsulates you, and find a way to make money off of it. Not only will it make a suitable lifelong career, but carrying a passion for your work will be the first step towards you achieving mastery over that field and becoming an influential person in that field. Those passions that you can't monetize, though, don't give up on them. Keep them as hobbies. Your passion alone can change the world. Just as we benefit from the efforts of humanity's past, we have the ability to support everybody that we love who will live with us and beyond us in the innovations and the successes that we make. But we also suffer from the mistakes of humanity's past. In the past 2 years, all of us remember this. Our class witnessed and partook in a global pandemic. Our country failed to act effectively towards the pandemic. Police riotings, police killings, riots, a contested election, a riot in our Capitol building. All the while, climate change continues to lurk behind the door of our future, and mass shootings never ceased to plague our communities and our schools. We grew up in these circumstances, and I know that we are the best. We, the class of 22, are the best equipped to face these existential threats of humanity's past, which have been thrown onto our shoulders. Every single one of us is in a unique position to change the world for the better. Through the power of the technology that we grew up with, through the skills that we built at this school and the experiences that we've had, we can do incredible things. If you want to design your own video game, you can do it. If you want to write your own book, you can do it. If you want to start a movement, you can do it. Every one of us has the power to change the world in the way that we want it. We are the ones who work under pressure every single day with our future on the line. We are the ones who noticed policies in our school that we didn't like and worked to change them. We were the ones who walked out of our classes in middle school when politicians didn't take action to protect our lives. We are the ones who lived through the global pandemic but still found ways to tell our friends, I love you. And though it is a weighty task to fight the tragedies of humanity, I couldn't pick a better group of thinkers to shape our world than you. Not only do we have mountains to move, but we also have lives to live. And I wouldn't want to confront this challenge without you. And regardless of where our paths may take us, may we take solace in the fact that every single one of us is a miracle of nature, where atoms awoke and became aware of their own existence. And we are surrounded by people experiencing the exact same condition. Every one of us faces a trek of chaos and uncertainty before us. But I'm glad we're facing it together. You're a miracle, and I love you. Thank you.
Good morning. The Renaissance Award. Seniors who receive the Renaissance Award are well-rounded individuals with a passion for learning and cultivated interest in a number of areas. They are model academic magnet high school students selected by the AMHS faculty. This year's Renaissance Award recipient is Mary Compton. the Raptor Award. The Raptor Award is given to the senior student who best represents school spirit and a commitment to the academic magnet high school community. This senior is selected by the AMHS faculty. This year's Raptor Award recipient is Michael Douglas. The McAllister Award. The award is presented annually to the senior student athlete who has demonstrated superior athletic performance, sportsmanship, leadership, community service, citizenship, and academic accomplishment. Special consideration is given to multi-sport athletes who have completed for all 4 years of high school. This year's McAllister Award recipient is William Hyatt.
Thank you, Ms. Pinckney. It is my pleasure to introduce some student speakers this morning. First, our salutatorian. Our salutatorian has modeled excellent leadership during her high school tenure. She has achieved at the highest academic levels and has been involved in extracurricular activities that have made her a balanced student as well. Activities like Key Club and National Honor Society and DECA. She was a Raptor athlete and played both lacrosse and basketball at Academic Magnet. She excelled in the most difficult classes that are offered at this school or at any school across the nation, and has earned multiple seals of distinction for her work. Please join me in welcoming to the podium your salutatorian for the class of 2022, Louisa Grubb.
When I first found out that I would be salutatorian, I'll be honest, I was not excited. Who thought that a reward for good grades should be another homework assignment? So I did what any good magnet student with a homework assignment would do. I procrastinated. Unfortunately, I realized I couldn't procrastinate too much because just like tank tops in the dress code, this speech had to be approved by administration. So I got to work. And since we are the class of 22, I wrote a list of 22 things that make us cool. Number 1, Taylor Swift literally wrote a song about how amazing 22 is. Number 2, we are graduating from the number 2 ranked school in the country. As the College Decision Instagram page says, number 2 in the nation, number 1 in our hearts. Number 3, we support each other. Between studying and learning together and making each other smile, we have created an amazing community at Magnet. Number 4, our competitive drive, ing out of the Magnet parking lot. Number 5, our community service. As a class, we've logged countless hours and improved our community. And a special congrats to those of you who fulfilled the service requirements in spite of your forms being lost in a certain teacher's filing cabinet. Number 6, our dance skills.
Between prom and our before-school wall day dances, we were able to show off our skills on the dance floor. Number 7, the fact that we survived and learned through a global pandemic. Number 8, from the birdcage to Spirit Week, we always had amazing school spirit with loud cheers and costumes that took hours to assemble. Number 9, our optimism in the face of whatever challenges high school brought us. Number 10, our water gun marksmanship and senior assassination skills. Shout out to all the parents who let random kids hide in their yards or houses for hours waiting for their target. Number 11, from the numerous student musicians and rap battle champions to those who just make amazing Spotify playlists, there's no doubt that the class of 22 has amazing musical talent. Number 12, our artistry. From people who won awards for their art to people who ran out of paint in the Magnet parking lot, we are certainly original and creative. Number 13, we're just plain cool. Number 14, we are leaders. After COVID, we brought back and led many traditions this year, such as a pep rally and crepe and taco sales. Number 15, our athleticism. We have in this class athletes going on to participate in college athletics and athletes who have earned titles and wins. And for the rest of us, just remember that your diploma is coming from academic magnet, not athletic magnet. And it is not suggested that you use your diploma to seek careers as professional sports players. Number 16, our punctuality. We were definitely, and I can't emphasize this enough, 100% always on time to school, and we never slept in too late or got stuck by a train. Number 17, our intelligence. If you haven't heard the motto, we're seriously smart. Number 18, we are determined. From fighting for early outs to getting through college applications, we kept going even when it got hard. But it's not just our traits that have made us awesome. There have also been some amazing groups of people that have supported us throughout the years. Number 19, our coaches. On sports fields or in other extracurriculars, our coaches donated their time and wisdom to make us better people. Number 20, the administrators and staff who have made our lives at school run smoothly these past years. Without your organization, we wouldn't have made it past class registration. And a final announcement on behalf of administration, if you haven't filled out your school climate survey yet, where have you been? 21, our amazing teachers who taught us through some chaotic years, especially when we were plagued by the easily transmittable diseases of COVID and senioritis. Your patience and knowledge, especially when it came to defining hyperboles and polynomial long division, helped us to learn and be prepared for the rest of our lives. And finally, to our families, who have supported us every step of the way. We could not have done it without you. With 22 points to back us up, there is no doubt that the class of 22 is amazing and ready to graduate. But if you ever need a reminder, remember these words, often quoted by esteemed scholars and dignitaries everywhere. My graduation, my class of 22, my magnet. Thank you.
Thank you, Louisa, and congratulations again. Our valedictorian. It's a huge honor to be named valedictorian at any high school. But it's an outstanding accomplishment when you're named the top student at Academic Magnet High School, which is named, as you know, one of the top schools in the country. It's a uniquely high honor when you consider who you're competing against for this honor. The students here are some of the most talented in the state, in the region, and in the nation. The motto at Academic Magnet High School is scholarship and honor. And this senior took those two values seriously from the time he entered the school as a freshman. He purposely took the hardest classes available. He excelled in every one of those classes. And when he goes out into the world, well beyond his college days at Duke University, he will always serve as an ambassador for Academic Magnet High School. Our associate principal, Ms. Pinckney, has known the student since his freshman year and followed his success with pride. She said, "I remember that nervous young man coming in here with his mom to register. He's since grown into a confident, funny young man with great, great potential. He took the hardest classes we offered here and aced them with ease, all while finding a way to serve his community. His family moved from China to America when he was 1 year old, and he has attended CCSD schools since kindergarten. So his success and this recognition this morning is really a celebration for our entire school district. Please join me in welcoming to the podium your class of 2022 valedictorian, Hugh and Wang.
You know, when I first learned I was going to be giving a speech today, Miss Pinckney told me to follow my heart. It seemed like strange advice to me, not that it's bad advice by any means. It's probably the best advice you could give anyone writing a speech, or really I think to anyone in general, but I found it weird since I'm supposed to be up here today because of whatever's in my head, not what's in my heart. I'm not sure what's up there is that great anyway, though. My 1B calculus class can tell you about how I didn't know what goat cheese was. And I've never gone wrong listening to Miss Pinckney either, so instead of continuing to make lousy jokes, let me do the other graduation speech thing of reminiscing over the past few years. For me, my first experience with academic magnet was as a SOA 6th grader. I remember going on the bus and observing these big, weird creatures called magnet students. I saw them as a bunch of nerds who dressed up really funny twice every year, and 3 years later, I'd be one of them. Like many of us in the class of 22, my first memory at Magnet was Summer Scholars. I'm sure it was a great program and all, but to be honest, I don't remember much from it. The only distinct image that lasts from that summer is a balloon. I remember playing that silly balloon game when we all got in a group. I don't know what it's called, but we got in a circle, threw a balloon around, and tried to keep it up for as long as possible. You'd think it'd be easy, but even with one balloon and many, many people, there were still times when the balloon fell to the ground. It's been different for everybody, but over the past few years, I know for a fact that every graduate sitting here has had all sorts of balloons that they've been trying to juggle in the air, whether that's academics, sports, arts, clubs, work, or maybe it's just trying to deal with stress, the stress and anxiety of everyday life, trying to maintain relationships with friends and family, or simply the pains of growing up. Yet here we are today about to graduate. Simply put, that wouldn't have been possible without all the support and love we've been so lucky to receive. Nobody goes through life alone, even if they are as remarkable as the young adult sitting in front of me right now. And because of this, I would like to take some time to thank all of you, both the ones here today and the ones here in spirit, for said support. To any CCSD leaders among us today, thank you for all that you do, for guiding us through the pandemic, for ensuring that schools, all schools, not just ours, run smoothly, and well, frankly, for letting Magnet exist. To all the Magnet staff and faculty, thank you for the passion you bring to education. The school wouldn't be the same without you, and I'm not sure where to start. I've had so many genuine and hilarious and amazing interactions with the teachers here. Mr. Phillips giving the best gift you could give a Magnet student, nap time, during his AP computer science applications class. Miss Yaki being an awesome human being, even if I've never got to have her for a math class. Pro tip for any future Magnet students, go play Frisbee. Mr. Johnson always keeping it real with us. Dr. Altman always being energetic, always dedicated to our, and forgive my French pronunciation one last time, our épanouissement, or blossoming. Even in spite of the pleas of us French 5 students to let us chill and watch the AP kids suffer. I haven't said a complete sentence in a while now, but Miss Langford's so kind, I'll know I'll be forgiven. And the entire English department has taught me such good English skills that I'm sure she knows that I do know what a complete sentence is. And how could I not mention Mr. Garris, an absolute legend for keeping me sane through AP research. I'd be willing to take high school history all over again to do the history simulations that I've missed out on. And of course, also to play chess in your room for another 4 years. The list of teachers I had to thank goes on, and even for the ones I've never had before, know that the class of 22 appreciates everything you've done for us. We're aware that these 4 years have been just as challenging for many of you as it has for us. I'm sure that months of talking to dead Zoom boxes, to plexiglass, to masks, They've all taken its toll, and that their effects are still felt. But sincerely, thank you for being accommodating and flexible and compassionate. Thank you for the many lectures and lessons taught, not just about history or science or English, but also about becoming a better, kinder human and living a more fulfilling life. And to all the families of Magnet students with us today, especially the parents, thank you for all the sacrifices you've made the past few years. Going to Magnet is a choice that for many means getting up earlier, having to drive farther, dealing with many sleepless nights and many evenings with stressed kids. We thank you for trying to put a smile on our gloomy teenage faces. We thank you for always being there with us, for being willing to help us through whatever it may be. And even if we don't show it, we love you. Lastly, to my fellow classmates, I'd like to thank you all too. We've been through a lot together, and I think that through all of it, we've made each other stronger. You are all amazing and have been sources of inspiration for me. When I look at the rows of faces in front of me, I see the future leaders of our country, the future engineers and scientists, artists and writers, doctors and lawyers. You all have taught me so much, there's no doubt about it. If nothing else, I'm always learning through your actions the power of just being kind and trying to do good things. So as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to leave you with one piece of advice. I've been talking all this time about this keeping balloons off the ground nonsense, and while that is important, there will be times when those balloons drop. Gravity's inevitable, but that's okay. We can always pick them up another time, give them a push upwards, and move on. Instead, the one thing I really don't want us to forget are the other balloons in our lives, the ones filled with our passions and dreams. I think those are the truly important ones, the ones filled with helium, ready to float up into the air. Raptors, be ready to fly after them, lest they disappear forever. Believe that no matter how dark the nights that lie ahead might be, there will always be stars to illuminate a path forwards for you. Spread your wings wide and soar ceaselessly into the sky. There's no better time than now to go on a journey. And as you all embark on your next journey, I want to end with this one quote from this boring show about rowing gondolas on Mars. Have you heard this story before? When a certain traveler left on a journey in search of what he desired, he was told by his teacher, "You mustn't lose your way, because if you make one wrong turn, you will never find what you were searching for." Unfortunately, the traveler lost his way and hung his head in dismay. But when he raised his head again, what he saw before him was a world even more magnificent than what he was searching for. It means if you don't make mistakes, there are things you won't discover. Class of 2022, my heartfelt congratulations. I can't wait to see the story you write for yourselves, but for now, just celebrate this moment. Thank you.
Good morning. At this time, I'd like to invite to the podium Dr. Andrea Lupo and Mr. Alan Schmidt for the presentation of the candidates, as well as Mr. Perlmutter, Ms. Pinkney, Ms. Vallejo, and Ms. Zerbst.
Oliver Campaign Abar.
Christian Scott Anderson.
Madeline Dorothy Jane Anderson.
T. Johnston Anderson.
Pedro Mateus Araujo.
Mary Taylor Archambault.
Alexis May Bacani.
Joshua Beck.
Emerson Olivia Bain.
Miriam El Batol Bazin.
Macy George Bearden.
Anna Sophia Benson.
Jeremiah Berkeley Benton.
Chatham Elizabeth Bonner.
Reagan Miles Brown.
William Parker Brown.
Ava Colette Brunson.
Sarah Bryson Burnett. Inés Carrillo.
Aaron Daniel Causey. Mebron Jorvi Bakani Kayabyab.
Caleb Richard Cayuette.
Anson Lee Clark.
Lillian Marquette Claypool.
Anna Grace Clifford.
Hallie Rebecca Cole.
Robert Jonah Colstock.
Mackay John Collins.
Mary Collins Compton.
Phoebe Jeanette Cavode.
Evan Albert Cowell.
Brett Michael Cox.
Taryn Elizabeth Crowley.
Isabel Grace Custer.
Aditi Das.
Annika Davin.
Augustus John Dickinson.
Richard Leigh Dillard.
Dominic Christopher Edward D'Amico.
Tegan Aaron Dom.
Michael Darhan Douglas.
Frances Paulina Drake.
Nicole Samantha Drucker.
Jake Christopher Dureger.
Michael Bowen Enright.
Aiden Wright Evans.
Kevin Dafe Fan.
Sunny Fong.
Sophia Josephine Fetton.
Louis Matthews Fisher.
Marshall Williams Fleming.
Julian Anthony Ford.
Jake David Freudenheim.
Austin Ashley Gallman.
Maggie Lane Garrigan.
Genevieve Ellen Giles.
Bryce Rivers Getzinger.
Grant Caldwell Goldsmith.
Louisa Ruth Grubb.
Augustus David Hale.
Kinsey Lynn Halaba.
Wesley Kip Hawes.
Nathan Theodore Heineck.
Michael William Heineman.
Sydney Marie Heller.
Blair Catherine Henry.
Clay Wallace Hershey.
Jack Presson Hill.
Noah Karsh Hinson.
Hannah Diaz Hirauka.
Jameson Kapler Hoffman.
Caroline McCall Horton.
Zane Caitlin Hull.
William Pate Hyatt.
Emma Helen Trammell Inman.
Calendula Lynn Jacobs.
Charles Robert Jajuga.
Joy Luya Jurassic.
Marianne Kathleen Jenkins.
April Louise Johnson.
Daphne Sophia Jones.
Ella Marie Jones. Amelia Marie Kitchens.
Alden Farnsworth Clem.
Kuiper.
Reese Mary Laird.
Summer Frances Langford.
Alexis Michelle Legendry.
Alex Matthew Levin.
Carter Braden Limbert.
Maria Nicole Linder.
Siddhartha Malik.
Lucy Addison Manuel.
Rebecca O'Malley Marhefka.
Mary Caroline Marino.
Mia Drew Matthews.
Aiden Thomas McKittrick.
Sophia Madison Ashley McLean.
Robert Gabriel Medlin.
Gracie Patricia Mochizuki.
Camille LeGrand Moulton. Joshua Alden Moore.
Kaylin Lee Morris.
William Daniel Muirhead.
Jake Gregory Myers.
Lauren Elizabeth Nadeau.
Nura Ahmed Nafea.
Akshith Reddy Nalla.
Evan Raymond Nash.
Logan Nach Win.
John Patrick O'Neill.
Brianna Janae Oliver Reed.
Alana Ann Overby.
Mark Edwin Owens.
Lauren Elizabeth Piegler.
Hermanpreet Singh Pilia.
Claudia Rose Perkis.
Bailey Eliza Phelan.
Miley Christian Phillips.
Lillian Grace Prady.
Lillian Parker Ramsey.
Devar Sincere Ravenel.
Virginia Chantel Ravindra.
Grace Bailey Ann Ray.
Randall Clancy Reed.
McKenna Louise Ronquetto.
Letty Ann Schur.
LaPortia Diamond Scott.
Shay Michael Syme.
Alicia Margarita Semenoff.
Leah Renee Shalit.
Yakov Maciek Shoshevich.
Ada Marie Skradsky.
Leo Francis Sparacino.
McLean Brady Stocklosa.
John Hunter Sutcliffe.
Braden Christian Tabler.
Anna Lee Tangeman.
Cameron Kent Thielen.
Catherine Amanda Tuxworth.
Mia Van Hagen.
Destiny Sarah Vinson.
Madeline Elizabeth Vitalis.
Mary Lyde Wallace.
Catherine Ryan Waldorf.
Asher Lull Wallen.
David Yi-Young Wang.
Huen Wang.
Dina Noor Warid.
Magnolia Kate Webb.
Emily Morgan Weber.
Damon Curtis Wegner.
Samuel Thomas Whalen.
Peyton Elizabeth White.
Gray Emerson Willits.
Cole Michael Wilson.
Ashley Marie Wyndham.
Mabry Jean Wise.
Piper Dina Wood.
Chloe Elizabeth Wren.
Ann Middleton Young.
Garrett Montgomery Ziegler.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will please rise at your seats to help me congratulate the Academic Magnet High School class of 2022. This concludes our commencement ceremony for this morning. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to our distinguished guests for joining us this morning, including Mr. Kennedy, our superintendent. Everyone, please get home safely. Have a great summer and great rest of your day. But one more time before we leave, the class of 2022, Academic Magnet High School.